minimum rounds to complete all tasks. So I'm gonna go ahead and look at that example to easily see that. So given these numbers represent a unique task. So task number two and task number two are the same um, task ID, I would say. So the goal is to, if you have let's say n number of task number two, how many rounds can you complete it? And you can only complete it by uh, doing two or three tasks in one round. Okay. Uh, Pause and take some time if you feel that this is a little bit confusing, but it means that if I have five items to work on, I can do three minus three and then minus two, and I completed that task. Okay. If I have four, then I can do two and then two. The only catch here is you can never go negative one. So it means that if it's again four and you do three minus three and now you're left with one, you can no longer complete that, and now that's invalid for this problem. Okay, so there's some pattern here that requires some little bit of math shenanigans, right? Um, but first, we can deep dive in the logic, right? So go ahead and show you my solution. Where did I put that? Submission here, or maybe posted. Loading. This one. This is my solution. Again, intuition is need the map, but need to find a pattern. Okay, so first, iterate over the array to create a map with the key value appearing with task as the number as the key. And if I see the same thing, I count the frequency, number of the same task. After that, when I'm done, then I iterate over the values of the map and validating if the number of tasks is valid, meaning I can complete it using two or three in one round, right? Um, and that's it. Um, so let's go back to a discussion that would really help us to understand this right away. So as you can see, these are, let's say, the number of tasks in a task, right? In a task ID, let's say, right? And then now you would see that there's a pattern wherein if you are within a certain range, you can actually get the minimum number of rounds to complete it. Only if you're left with one to begin with, you cannot complete it. But the rest, you can actually complete it by using a combination of two or three at one round at one time, right? So the idea here is to follow this pattern and build that logic, right? And we'll go back to that logic again. Okay, going back to the code, initialize a result integer that we would return to the user or to the function. I mean, create a map. I basically extracted this function, as you can see here, so that I can read it better. So task to count, okay, this is the first O of n, and basically add that and then add the counter. Fairly easy. So we can skip that and then we head back. Now once we have the map filled up, we can iterate over that values of the map, and then we want to validate first is valid num of task. It's just a simple one. Is it not equal to one? So it's valid, right? But then again, we're looking for an invalid one, which is equals to one. So we do this bang or exclamation point to say that reverse this. and return -1, right? Uh, I think I could name this as invalid task, but to save us from the context switching of this is a negative function, I would say negative. The If I say invalid number of tasks, it's negative, and then you return a true. That might lead to confusion. So why not just get the valid one and just reverse it, right? This pattern might be easier. Again, it depends, right? Next, we want to calculate. So everything after this one would be a valid number of tasks, and let's calculate that, like the minimum rounds to complete the task. And as you can see, this is the pattern, right? So what happens now is if it's a modulus of 3, like 369, just divided by 3, add that to our counter, right? And then return that, right? If it's a modulus of 1, remainder 1, I mean, sorry, modulus of 3, remainder 1. So if I have, let's say, a 2, what we can do with a 4, right? Um, then what I did there is to add plus 2, so that let's say the given number is 4, right? And then 4 plus 2 becomes 6 divided by 3, 2. So we got that in that same range. As for, let's say, this one, let's say the number of tasks is 5, right? Which is 5 modulo 3, we got remainder 2. So I want it to be at that same number 6 bracket or range. So 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 divided by 3, you'll get 2 as well, right? This pattern would work. Let's say your number is 9, then it falls under here. Divided by 3, you get 3. And if your number is 8, right? 8 modulo 3, sorry, here, 8 modulo 3 equals 2 as your remainder. And then you add 1, which is 9 again, divided by 3, you get 3. And then if you have a 7, you'll be here. You'll get remainder 1. And then 7 plus 2, which is 9, divided by 3. And you'll have 3 again. And return that. And once we accumulate this, once we're finishing iterating all the map values, then just return the result, right? Time complexity is O of n. It's basically the combination of O of n plus n, because we iterate the list to create a map, and then we iterate the map's values. Space complexity would be the map size in relation to the array, which is linear. So that's how I solve it. Thanks for checking this out.